Hey travelers and photographers! Today we're going to dive into a crucial piece of gear that may open up so many new avenues to document your travel journey, a travel tripod. Whether you are capturing stunning landscapes, cityscapes, or taking family selfies on your adventure, a solid tripod setup can make all the difference. So how do you choose the perfect travel tripod? Let's break it down. First things first, why do you even need a tripod? As a traveler, you probably want to minimize your luggage and weight, right? Or you might think that only professional travel photographers use tripods. I get you. I was in the same boat over 10 years ago. Back then, without a tripod, my photo activities were limited to the daytime, photographing people and random subjects here and there. However, during sunrise and sunset, the most colorful moments of the day, when I was most eager to take pictures, my photos were mostly blurry. Night photography? I never even thought about it. Tripod has, however, changed my entire photo world. It not only allowed me to photograph our Mother Nature in its most splendid colors, but also opened uncharted opportunities for night photography, particularly for cityscapes at night, as well as Milky Ways and Northern Lights. With a tripod, a good tripod in particular, you can literally take photos around the clock on your photo journey. Alright, let's talk about how to choose your perfect travel tripod. There are 7 factors to keep in mind: weight, size, durability, stability, convenience, connection, and budget. So let's dive in. Since you'll be traveling, weight is a big deal. You don't want to lug around a heavy tripod on a move, especially if you're on a hike or on a climb. Trust me, on a long hike, every kilo or pound on your luggage matters. Even if you are big and strong and can carry weight, it is still a lot better to have a lightweight and compact tripod that can fit in your backpack. The heavier the weight, the more unlikely a regular backpack can hold your tripod. You end up having to invest in a tripod, sling bag, or professional camera backpack, or have to carry your tripod, which is not convenient. Out of the 2 major tripod material, carbon fiber tripods could be 30 to 50% lighter than the aluminum tripod of the same size and design. This makes carbon fiber tripod a preferred choice for travel and outdoor photographers. The good news is there are many carbon fiber tripods weighing only around 1 kilo or 2 pounds these days. They are sufficient for most travel photographers. Before purchasing them, make sure to check another weight number, the maximum load. Carbon fiber tripods typically have weight to load ratio of 1:5 to 1:10. For example, a light carbon fiber tripod of 2 to 3 pounds has a load capacity of 10 to 20 pounds. A medium carbon fiber tripod of 3 to 4.5 pounds has a load capacity of 20 to 30 pounds. A heavy carbon fiber tripod of 4.5 to 6 pounds has a load capacity of 30 to 50 pounds. Even if you have a big DSLR and a 70 to 200 millimeters telephoto lens, for example, they are still well within the load capacity of a light travel tripod because they're together probably weigh around 5 pounds. Very few amateur travel photographers will need a load capacity of 30 to 50 pounds. So a heavy carbon fiber tripod of over 4 pounds could be an overkill. Make sure not only the total weight of your camera and lens are well within the range of the load capacity, know the weight of your tripod head and extra accessories in case you shoot video and need to mount a microphone or even an extra screen on top of your camera. Now, all the weight added up together should be under that maximum load capacity. When talking about size, we need to know 2 important numbers: the tripod height, when its legs are fully extended, and the tripod length, when its legs are fully closed. The height of the tripod is extremely important. Ideally, you want your camera sitting on your tripod to be exactly at your eye level. This is the most comfortable and convenient position. Here's the precise way to find the right height of your tripod. And it's exactly what I did before purchasing my latest tripod a few months ago. First, find out the height of the tripod without extending the center column. Many tripods these days do not even come with the center column, like the one I recently got. It will save you extra weight. Bear in mind, the tripod height should be lower than your eye level because you have to mount other pieces of equipment before the camera can reach your eye level. One piece of important equipment is the tripod head, which I'm going to talk about later. You need to know the height of your tripod head. Lastly, you might want to measure the height of your camera, specifically from its base to the viewfinder. Ideally, the total of the three height numbers, namely your tripod height without extending the center column, your tripod head height, and the camera height from the base to the viewfinder, the total three numbers should be as close as your eye level as possible. Now, another reminder here, if you are someone with 6 feet tall, for example, your eye level is not really at 6 feet tall. It's probably at 5 feet 9. Do not use your own total height as the eye level height. So why does this all matter? I'm speaking from my own experience of using tripods for over 10 years. Even though you can adjust the height of your tripod legs to make it shorter or extend the center column to make it taller, changing these in the field is not really ideal. For example, if you want to quickly set up your tripod that's too high, you may either extend only partial length of the three legs or not extending the last section of the three legs at all and extend the center column, which not only takes extra time but also reduces stability, which I'm going to talk more detail later. Imagine every single time you use your tripod, you have to do this over and over again. I guarantee you, after a number of times, you either won't bother to use this tripod or want to get a new one. Now let's talk about size. The shorter the tripod when it's folded, the more convenient to carry, no matter in the backpack or in the suitcase. But wait a minute, this could be compromised by the number of sections in the tripod leg. For example, a 5-section tripod could be folded much shorter than a 3-section tripod, but the latter takes much less time to set up. And if you have situations when the tripod is sinking, it will take you extra time to figure out which tripod leg and which section has a problem when you have a 5-section tripod than a 3-section tripod. So in this regard, I find a 4-section tripod to be at sweet spot. It can be folded short enough to fit your backpack and suitcase, and is convenient enough to set up as well. Carbon fiber tripods are less susceptible to corrosion than aluminum ones if you use in harsh weather and wet conditions. And they also handle cold weather better. I've used both my tripods in the rain, snow, desert, ocean, river, sand for over 10 years, and they both survived very well thanks to the carbon fiber. Now, pay attention to two scenarios. If you use tripod in the sand or in the ocean water, ideally you should clean it thoroughly after use so it can extend the life of your tripod. I wish I knew this much earlier. I have used my Gizmo tripod extensively, but only cleaned it 5 times over the past 10 years. Even most part of the tripod is in perfect shape, its rubber feet fell off in different conditions. So after intense research, I still wasn't able to find replacements after many tries. It's one of the major reasons I finally decided to get a new tripod. If you're interested in the camera gear I typically bring on a trip, not only photographing people, but also landscape, check out this video where I've shared not only what I bring, but also why I bring certain camera equipment and accessories. But if you're on a hunt on a mirrorless camera or have been using a DSLR for a while but are not sure if you should upgrade your camera gear, check out my free video guide of Mirrorless Camera Ultimate Buying Guide. Hopefully it will save you hours, days, or even weeks of research time and find out what are the camera gear and features that matter most important to you. Stability is the real reason you want to use a tripod, right? The last thing you want is to buy a cheap tripod that wobbles in the wind. It totally defeats your purpose. Stability is affected mainly by 3 different factors. Number 1, the material. You might think the heavier the tripod, the more stable it is. Not really. Carbon fiber dampens vibration faster than aluminum, so even it's lighter, it's more stable. Number 2 is the weight distribution of your tripod at different heights. I mentioned earlier about the center column. The more you lift the center column, the more top-heavy your tripod setup and the more unstable your camera is. If you have a pretty bulky and heavy DSLR or mirrorless camera combined with a telephoto lens, a good way to mitigate this risk is to hang your camera bag at the bottom of your center column. This could help weigh down your tripod. But notice this setup is typically more needed in high wind scenarios. So you need to do this carefully. You don't want to hang a light bag that will swing back and forth in the high wind. That will actually be counter-effective. If you use a telephoto lens, make sure to mount it correctly. Instead of mounting the camera, mount the long lens directly on the tripod head to center the weight, so your camera and lens will not droop during your long exposure. As I mentioned earlier, the number of leg sections is a big factor that will influence the convenience to use your tripod. Apparently, it takes longer time to extend a 5-section tripod than a 3-section tripod. Another design factor that will impact the convenience is how you extend the tripod legs, twist and turn or lever and switch. I prefer the twist and turn because it's simple and takes less time to set the legs in position. The lever and switch takes more space, sticks out from the leg, and is more likely to get sand or dirt caught on the tripod legs. So I never really consider lever and switch. If you decide to use a twist and turn model, one small caveat is you need to turn it tight. In my own experience, when I was in a hurry and didn't turn the tripod leg tight enough, this will cause some leg section to shrink into its upper section during the shoot. And that's definitely something you want to avoid. Since you don't know which section was shrinking, it could take you extra time to inspect and fix the problem. Here's something really important you need to know. Your tripod does not connect directly to your camera. You need 2 pieces of accessories to connect your tripod and your camera. One is the tripod head, which is very important. The other one is a tripod plate. Now, some tripod purchases come with a tripod head, some don't, like my Gitzo. For those that don't come with a tripod head, you have to set extra budget to buy a tripod head, which has a wide range of prices. The tripod head is just as important as the legs, as it controls how you position your camera. There are 4 main types of tripod head: ball head, pan and tilt head, gear head, and fluid head. Ball head, pan and tilt head, and gear head are mostly used for photography, while fluid head are mostly used for videography. Personally, I do photography a lot more than videography, so I use ball head and gear head. In my own experience, a ball head is versatile and very easy to use. It allows for quick adjustments in all directions, and it's perfect for beginners. If you mainly do landscape and architecture photography and want higher precision to adjust camera positions, a gear head is a much better choice. The gear head is heavier and bulkier than ball head, but its quality built, precision, and convenience to use all outperformed the ball head in my own experience, and it totally make it worthwhile. Not only I can adjust the camera in 3 axes with high precision, I can easily maneuver my camera with one hand while using the other to hold my video camera so I can shoot more video tutorials in the field for you guys. When I use ball head, you never can adjust the camera in the exact position you want because the ball can move along 3 axes at the same time. I still want to say that if you are someone who will do long hike all the time and prefer something smaller smaller, compact ball head is still the right choice. I have to say that my Really Right Stuff ball head has served me so well over the past 10 years. Even I have installed gear head on my new tripod, I'll continue to use the Really Right Stuff ball head as it's still performing perfectly like a new one. This pen and tilt head is a little bit different from the traditional old-fashioned pen and tilt head. It's specifically for panorama photos. And of course, I have used some additional equipment connecting some of these tripod heads for additional purposes. For example, leveling base, pen head. If you're interested in knowing more about tripod heads and how to use different types of tripod heads and what is the pros and cons and what are the different scenarios to use them, please leave me a comment below so I can share more details about tripod heads in my future videos. Similar to choosing a tripod, you also need to check the maximum load of your tripod head. Make sure your camera and lens weigh within the range and can be easily balanced and secured on the tripod head. Beyond the tripod head, you need a tripod plate to connect between your camera and the tripod head. Arca Swiss plate is probably the most common type. It costs less than 10 bucks and can be used in most tripod heads. You attach it to the bottom of your camera and tighten it into the slot of the top of your tripod head. Since it's the universal type and very cheap, most of the time you don't even need to buy Arca Swiss plates separately, as it could come with your tripod head or other purchase. I don't know how many Arca Swiss plates I have collected over the years. I definitely didn't buy so many. Some tripod manufacturers offer their proprietary quick release plates that are only compatible with their own tripod. For example, Manfrotto quick release plate is a different type from Arca Swiss, but it can only be paired with Manfrotto tripods. In recent years, one quick release plate I really like is from PGY Tech. It locks my camera into the top of my tripod head much faster and easier than Arca Swiss, and it pretty much replaces all my Arca Swiss plates. And I typically use it to shoot YouTube videos when my camera is set at the horizontal orientation. When changing between landscape and portrait orientation, an L plate is the better solution. It allows you to get your camera in a 90 degrees position without readjusting your tripod setup. Now without it, you have to tilt your camera 90 degrees into the slot of your tripod head. You not only lose your composition, sometimes may have to readjust your tripod setup, but also lose stability because of the shift of the center weight. If you use a large DSLR camera with a telephoto lens, your camera and lens will likely droop during your long exposure. This problem would never occur with a L plate because your camera stays on top all the time and is always centered. Two brands, Really Right Stuff and Kirk, stand out in quality. I've also used some cheap L plates from other brands, and they definitely show wear and tear much faster. Last but not least, budget is of course important. For me, I'd rather pay twice for something that lasts twice as long instead of getting something of inferior quality and having to replace it all the time. The total cost over time is what you need to consider. If you take long trips or visit wilderness where there is no camera store within a radius of hundreds of miles, the last thing you want is to have unreliable equipment. Generally, carbon fiber tripods cost more than comparable aluminum tripods with the same design and size. If you will use your tripod outdoors often, you definitely need to consider a carbon fiber tripod. Before we wrap up, here are a few final tips. When choosing your first travel tripod, think about your specific needs. Are you going to do landscape more? Are you going to do video more? Don't forget to think about the tripod and head combination to ensure they work well together and fit your style. And remember, it's worth investing in quality. A good travel tripod can last for years and make a huge difference in your photography. So don't just go for the cheapest options. Find something that balances quality and affordability. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope this video will help you find the perfect travel tripod and the tripod head for your next adventure. If you find this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more photography tips. Let me know in a comment below what your favorite travel tripod is and if you got any questions. Until next time, happy travels and enjoy your photo journey.